I mean, I hope the BR is good. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad that I want to play the BR, but I mean, just like they don't want the BR in their game, like I don't really care because I like BRs and I'm glad they made one. So I want the BR. I think it could be an awesome BR and I want it.
Battlefield 6's new free-to-play Battle Royale mode has officially dropped, and the response has been anything but unanimous. While many streamers and Call of Duty fans seemingly got their wish, longtime Battlefield players are furious at what they see as a complete tonal shift overnight. The game is now packed with microtransactions, flashy cosmetics, and yet another exhausting Battle Pass grind. And to make matters worse, this Battle Royale is for all intents and purposes a Warzone reskin. All of this has sparked outrage across the community, with many claiming that the Battlefield they loved has, in just a few weeks, morphed into the very kind of soulless clone it was meant to rival. So, are these complaints justified, or is this just another case of Reddit outrage and salty fans looking for something to whine about?
This video is sponsored by our friends over at Opera GX, who have seriously made the dream browser for gamers. But League fans, Opera GX has got something really special planned for you. We know you'll be tuning in for Worlds Finals on November 9th to see whether KT or T1 will be lifting the Summoners Cup. But to add to the excitement, Opera GX will be offering real-time loot drops during the broadcast that only Opera GX users will be able to claim. Just make sure you're watching the World stream on lolesports.com via your Opera GX browser, and pay attention during the Opera GX segment, which is when the drops will be announced. So download Opera GX using the link in the description and make sure that you don't miss out on some sweet, sweet loot.
I, like I'm sure many of you watching, have been playing a lot of Battlefield lately. It's a good-ass game that acts as a pretty solid distraction from the pit of despair that is CS2 Premier. You hop in with your friends, blow stuff up, and call it a night. No commitment, no stress, no sweat. Just fun. A classic Battlefield experience, or at least as close as to one you can get in 2025. But according to Reddit, it has all been ruined, and all for the sake of appealing to the lowest common denominator: streamers and COD players. Now, I disagree. Mostly. As a lifelong Battlefield fan, I have seen this movie many times before, but it's fair to say that this particular game is under a kind of spotlight we've never seen before, largely because it's the first popular Battlefield to exist in the post-COVID streamer boom. That success and attention brought opinions, and despite the beta releasing to near universal praise, streamers came out of the woodwork claiming that this game was missing something.
Nah, I'm done with BF6 until Battle Royale comes out. When I calls it like I sees it, brother, that game is, yeah, it was fun for like an hour. At the end of the day, dude, you're just dying to, you're just dying to tanks and shit, or hiding in a building.
It's unfortunate to say these days, but in order to keep a game big and alive, fun is not good enough. Like, you need a lot of different facets that kind of evolve with the game, like a roadmap, whether it's rank, other shit. It's just what it is.
I see people talking about like, Battlefield doesn't need to be all right. Can you guys just let us have one that like BRs?
Okay, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the Kingerds video on streamers not understanding Battlefield and what the series is all about, and I don't want to rehash all of that. But takes like these made Battlefield fans worried that DICE and EA were actually going to do exactly what these people wanted. Not because they genuinely believed that the devs were caving to their whims on the spot, but because deep down fans knew it was already coming. Battle Pass, Seasons, Battle Royale, it's the predictable path for any AAA game. They just didn't want to hear people publicly supporting it because it was only going to validate EA's choices. But before the corporate machine kicked in, we actually got to see what Battlefield, any game really, could look like when left to stand on its own. For 18 glorious days, we had something pretty pure. Sure, it was still an $80 game, but a pretty damn good one. No battle pass, no daily login rewards, no microtransactions, just a fun, honest Battlefield experience. And it broke franchise records for that. Then on October 28th, Battlefield 6 dropped its new free-to-play Battle Royale, Redsec, along with the game's first season and all the good things that come with that. And honestly, I don't think it's very good. In fact, I'd argue it's one of the least innovative experiences I've ever played. If you enjoy Warzone, you'll probably love it because it's basically just Warzone. The menus, the C-130 jump sequence, the floating location text, the missions, the armor plates, the chests, the airdrops, it's all just the same.
Redsec and Warzone are so incredibly similar, I can't see a world in the entirety of Doctor Strange peering into the multiverse. I can't imagine he would see one where Warzone players are so blown away by Redsec specifically that they leave Warzone for it if they already prefer the Call of Duty gameplay. Because Redsec just does Warzone with Battlefield gameplay in tanks. That's really it.
Now, luckily, as people love to point out, you don't have to play Redsec if you don't want to. Fortunately, though, that's not where the similarities to Call of Duty end. I think the real problem people have with this update comes down to UX and UI design. Hell, even the in-game store with its themed cosmetic bundles looks identical to what you would see in Call of Duty right now. To make things worse, they even have their own version of a premium battle pass, Battlefield Pro, which, as of now, no surprise, holds a mostly negative rating on Steam. Speaking of ratings, since Redsec's release, reviews for Battlefield 6 have shifted to mixed, with most recent complaints pointing directly at the monetization and visual tone changes. On Reddit, the sentiment is even harsher, with fans reminiscing about those early, untainted weeks before this update. Some of the new cosmetics are especially controversial, overly bright, clashing with the realistic aesthetic the devs promised to stick to. And to make matters worse, a lot of weekly challenges are also now tied to the Battle Royale. So if you want to grind efficiently, you are forced into Redsec whether you like it or not. The devs did tweak the reroll system to reduce that frustration, but players still feel betrayed, in a way. To others, though, a great game is still in there, and these fans are just complaining for the sake of complaining. As I said, especially after the reroll fixes, you don't actually have to play or buy any of this shit if you don't want to. It's really just bad UI and UX that you have to suffer through. At the same time, though, what's done is done. DICE and EA have seemed to made their decision on what this game is going to look like and what content they are going to support. Yes, by the looks of it, Redsec was developed by a different team than the main multiplayer mode. But if it proves more profitable or popular, that's where the resources will go, just like we saw with Warzone before it. For a lot of players, the problem isn't battle royales themselves, it's what they bring. They are the perfect live service delivery system. And we've seen time and time again how that model cannibalizes the base game. Even Fortnite started as a PvE game before the money changed everything. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this whole situation, but I personally think the worst part about all of this is that Redsec could have been a lot cooler given the Battlefield experience. If people do like it and it exists for years, it can evolve, but for the time being, despite it getting hinted at for a while now, it plays as if they did actually start working on it once Tim the Tatman asked for it. And yeah, for now, some of the streamers do seem to love the experience, but a new COD comes out in just over a week. So will Redsec be able to compete, or did they alienate their OG fanbase for nothing? It just seems like if they were going to do something new and innovative, they would have done it out the gate. I legitimately don't understand why you would release this almost 3 weeks after launch and then 2 weeks before the game that probably does it better is about to come out.